The Research Institute at nationwide children's hospitals in the USA has published new data that proves the link between children suffering from migraines and an emotional disorder like depression. According to the study, children suffering from migraines are at risk of developing emotional and behavioral problems such as depression and anxiety. To speak to us more about the study, we're joined in studio by Dr. Elliot Shevel. He's founder and medical director at the Headache Clinic in South Africa and specializes in the treatment and prevention of headaches and migraines. Dr. Shevel also sits on the peer review board of the European Journal of Neurology and the Medical Science Monitor. He is here. Very good morning, Doctor. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning, Anne.
How important is it for parents not to dismiss their children saying, I have a headache?
It's terribly important because they don't know really whether the children really have a headache or not. So they have to make sure, because if one dismisses it, if one thinks that it's just because they don't want to go to school or whatever, and the children suffer from pain continually, it can lead in later life to severe mental problems, to depression, to feelings of inadequacy. But fortunately we don't have to experience that anymore, because some very exciting developments in the treatment of headaches have taken place here at the Headache Clinic in South Africa, and we are now able to diagnose and treat the causes of the headaches. It's no longer a matter of just giving somebody some medication.
Or just popping a quick tablet just to ease the pain. But where do we draw the line? What is a headache and what is a migraine?
A migraine is just a very severe headache, which is also accompanied by nausea, vomiting, sensitivity to light, sensitivity to sound. But as I said, it doesn't matter whether you call it a migraine or a headache. We are now able to really cure people, most people, to stop the headache in their tracks. Where there are surgical solutions. We've been working with doctors at Harvard University in America and with certain professors of neurology in Europe, in Italy, and I've just come back from Germany. And it's a very exciting development in the headache world now. They used to believe that the pain of headaches came from inside the skull, from the arteries in the brain. But we now know for sure that the pain comes from the outside, and we can treat this pain. So it's very, very exciting, and we're getting a lot of international recognition now in South Africa. So it's really a good time.
Let's talk about the link between depression and anxiety and migraines, especially in children.
Well, what happens is if one has got pain, often, and many headache sufferers have their sleep quality is affected. And I'm sure you know, if you don't have good sleep, one can become depressed. One loses one's short-term memory. One gets anxious. There are a number of things that can happen when you're not sleeping properly. And add to that the pain.
Is there a close link in terms of medication then between administering medication for migraines and depression, or are they pretty much similar medications?
Well, there's no medication that you can take to prevent migraine that has been designed for migraine, because there are so many different causes of migraine. But what I have found is that one of the medications that is normally given for depression sometimes helps migraine sufferers. So they do give that, but it's not specifically for it, and it's not advisable.
So what should parents do, especially with their children who have started complaining about headaches and have realized that it's not just an excuse to get out of school, that something really is the matter with the child, where perhaps a headache has stayed for 2 or 3 days? What do they do with their child instead of just administering a quick fix?
Well, the only real way to treat it is to find out what's causing the headache. What structure is, where's the pain coming from? The pain has to come from somewhere. And it's not that difficult if one does it in the proper way to find out exactly where the pain is coming from. Instead of just saying, here, take a painkiller. It's as if one has, say, pain in the chest. You don't just give people painkillers. You find out
the cause.
What's the cause?
And why is it also that more women suffer from headaches and migraines compared to men?
There are things called triggers, which are not really where the pain comes from, but that trigger off the headache. And women have hormonal cycles where the estrogen levels go up and down, and these fluctuations, even though the hormones are normal in the vast majority of people with hormonal headaches, the body is reacting abnormally to those fluctuations. So what we do at the headache clinic is we find out why the body is reacting abnormally to the normal fluctuations in hormones.
All right. And very quickly, Doctor, if you wouldn't mind just giving our viewers just some contact details in order to get hold of you or the headache clinic if they have any questions or queries.
Yes, certainly. And I want to mention to the viewers, we've got what's called a quality of life test on our website, which they can do in 5 minutes, and it shows them how badly their life is being affected. It's a scientific test that takes a few minutes. The website is www.headacheclinic.co.za, and if they call in to 0861 678 911, we will be able to give them free advice on how to sit in front of the computer, how to sit when you're driving, headache diaries, things that can help them, yes.
And that's free of charge?
Yes, of course.
Perfect. Dr. Shettle, thank you very much for coming through this morning and chatting to us.